not to waste any time, we're going to read my first concern. I don't mean to be so snarky. I am feeling pretty snarky though. Okay, this is first page is so much. Okay, you're breaking mountain hives. Look, I don't even know what that is. Something bit me in the process. All right. So after we read the first page and one explaining to me that, too bad, so sad, you didn't like to stay with your mother. But you were going to address my concerns. You talked to all kinds of people about the stay there. Nobody asked me. Nobody called me. Nobody, not one person contacted me. Power of attorney for Linda Keaton. I've got the paperwork. I got the story. I was there. Daughter at bedside. I was there the entire time. I had the story. If anybody really wanted to look into this in any way, they would have called me. But they didn't, because you think something else other than, and you'll see, because we're going to go through it. First concern that y'all address for me, it says, on the day of surgery, you were notified by your mother's surgeon that her surgery went well, and she should be out of surgery in 45 minutes. You, in period, space, it looks like. You were alarmed when this estimate was prolonged. Now, on the day when he came out and the day before, he said, y'all expedite it. Y'all are ready for that. Y'all know what that means. You expedite. And we'll get into that later. But we're going with your finding. Finding concern substantiated. It says, please accept our apology that this communication was imprecise. 45 minutes would be within the parameters for transfer from surgery to post-operative recovery setting. PACU. In PACU, patients are very closely monitored to ensure that they are sufficiently recovered from anesthetics and can be safely cared for in the general surgical unit. This time frame can change due to a patient's pre-existing medical concerns, age, response to anesthesia, and vital signs. Your mother's stay was longer than expected. Oh, wait, let me start over. Because it's space again, it seems. Your mother's stay was longer than the expected 45 minutes reported to you by the surgeon. Unfortunately, the PACU staff was not made aware of the time expectation you were told, and thus were unaware of the need to clarify this with you. The involved surgeon will be informed about your feedback so that communication can be improved. Sorry, not informed. I looked up for. Okay. That's the first concern. We're going to go with that. So, in PACU, patients are very closely monitored to ensure that they are sufficiently recovered from anesthetics and can be safely cared for in the general surgical unit. This time frame can change due to a patient's pre-existing medical conditions, age, response to anesthesia, and vital signs. Your mother's stay was longer than expected. 45 minutes reported to you by the surgeon. I do not like that sentence. It's so like, what does that even mean? Okay, so during that time, let's go with my book. And I'm on, it looks like this was like her very first pages, her check-in, that looks the handwriting of her anesthesiologist and all of her, handwritten notes about my mom. And if you can see, handwritten, and I highlighted it and put a pink little thing by there. You probably can't see it. Whatever. It says chronic pain. And so that means my mom was checking in with an anesthesiologist who knows everything about drugs in the entire whatever in the world, my mind, that chronic pain would indicate that this old lady took Vicodin, which was an opiate. Okay? I'm going to stop right there. Just want to point out that piece of paper because that one blew my mind because I was like, well, this I don't know. And Corey Bakey, that's the anesthesiologist. I don't know if it's a male or female. Apparently, I have the wrong picture up according to the slur. You'll read later, but I don't care either. Yeah. Don't care. You don't care. I don't care. Her blood pressure going in was 155 over 88. My mother had high blood pressure. Even on blood pressure medicine, she had high blood pressure. Whatever. She's had it since I was a little girl. It wasn't like something that was like, oh, all of a sudden your heart. Her heart was fine. Fine. So she was going in for a shoulder surgery on September 3rd at St. Joseph's Health in College Station. And I was with her and we checked in and met with the anesthesiologist, which it seems like it's the same lady to me. I act like it is, but I don't know if I got the same way. Okay. And she had checked in before. I'm not seeing anybody making any notes about any of these pre-existing condition things that are apparently now here in your concern finding to the concern, my 6-page letter y'all sent to me. All right, I'm blabbing because I'm mad about this first paragraph. Okay, chronic pain. She knows. Okay. While she's in there, and the timeline is, and I had to go get my mom's medical records. We knew pretty close in, I guess on 9/6. I knew on 9/4 that we had a problem. But it was probably about 9/6 that my family was like, we've got a problem. And we knew that we needed her medical records, and they held us from getting them. My father, I took my heart failure father, who had just had stents placed from his third heart attack. So enzymes, it's so confusing. So they wouldn't give them to me. I finally got them on, I think it was 9/12 when she was moved. We got her safely out of there on 9/10. This was 9/3 that I'm on. I'm on 9/3 on the surgery during the surgery time. But I'm talking all the way to 9/12 when I actually went to go get, because they wouldn't let me get them until she was out of the hospital. So I go and get them. And a lot of them are printed off already on 9/11 by prep. We'll talk about all this. I'm going in. We're on 9 minutes. I got nothing but time looking at my mama's house. I need some better lighting. It's all right. We'll fix all this. I'm not even tired of it. So on 9/3 with this anesthesiologist, the same one, she puts in a nerve block. There's a video, I think, on YouTube. You can see where she walks into the room, or no, the surgeon walks in and says, has the anesthesiologist been in here yet? And I was like, no, she hasn't. He's like, all right, well, she's going to put that nerve block in, and it's going to stay in for 3 days, and it's going to make her feel real good. And it's not, and I was like, ooh, we need that, because we did need that. We freaking needed that, because my mother was getting a reverse total surgery. This was not someone that she didn't know. She had surgery on both hands, one of them twice, for Carpal tunnel, same dude. I don't know if this is it was so outpatient. They probably used Narcan then too. I haven't even looked at any of that paperwork. So how many times can you blow up a balloon, people, before it wears out? We're going to find out because all I have, and I went and picked up your medical records on November 12th, and I picked up, she'd been there from 9/3 to 9/10 and been a code blue in your facility, and you gave me 50 sheets of papers. That's it. So I knew there was something wrong. So I went back, videoed it, said, hey, we have a mistake. I need another form. I wanted all of the paperwork. Apparently it wasn't all ready on 9/12 because I didn't go back. It was days because we were dealing with my mother being sick, so we kind of carried around this 50 pages of papers for a couple of days before we decided that oh no. There's things so much missing. Where's this? Where's that? How come we don't know what's missing? Like we went through some things, and she was still going through some things. So when we look at your response to just that stepping into your facility where you're saying you're sorry that we didn't call you and let you know it was going to be 45 minutes. And we'll let your surgeon know so he can improve his situation, like patronizing me over my blog. Pagepotpie.com, y'all, is what he's referring to in this letter. And who is this person in this letter? Kia Parsi, MD. I do not know who he is. You look him up online. He's Chief Medical Officer at CHA, St. Joseph's Health. He's telling me about my 45 minute stay. Well, when you're outpatient, guess what? That's what they usually tell you. Yeah, they get them up. They wake up. Okay. They didn't ask anything else. She was tired. We were tired. It had been a long night before because her shoulder was completely just haggard. We can look at them. We can pull the medical records up and actually probably look at them. I just haven't gotten that far because I've been working on the second batch of papers I had to go get from y'all. And when I did go get them, it was like 250 pages approximately. So I've spent the past, that was September, 4 months separating, reading them 4, 5, 6, 7 different times, listening to all my videos while I'm reading them, while I'm sitting here at the same time, listening to my mom breathe. Yeah. I'll turn it up. We can share. So, this is my story, and I am overwhelmed with, I don't even know the words to use on how she was treated during the time that she was in this facility, as if she was going to just go away, as if all of this was just like we were going to decide that, okay, we're going to pack her up today. We're going to load her in. I don't know how many times we were asked. We were asked that crap a lot. So, I'm thirsty. Wet my whistle because I got another piece of paper I'm looking at. Okay, so during that time period that he's talking about, this 45 minutes, my mom got out of surgery, and from her shoulder at, it's on here somewhere. I think it was like, she went in at 1, 2, 3, 4. All of it. All of the paperwork is signed 1, 2, 3, 4, and I do love that. That's when she was in there. But then she comes out, and I think it's 2 40? Where's Phil? Where's this Mr. Littman? He had a lot to do with this. I have this chart. So 1230. This chart. This is the one piece of paper. The one piece of paper out of no, I guess there's two. There's two pieces of paper and from the same time period, and it's all handwritten on here in a graph sideways. You probably can't even see it. Read it. Wait, is that upside down? Yeah. And I'll scan it. It's actually on my website, pagepotpie.com. And it says Narcan. And that right there, out of 250 pieces of paper, where this little orange thing is handwritten in a graph sideways. So when you're looking at it and you're scanning for anything that would possibly implicate where this went down, how it went down, they admitted it in this letter that it went down. But what they didn't talk about is, I said earlier that they put that nerve block on my mom. Well, and then the anesthesiologist, knowing that my mother was a chronic pain patient, and the surgeon as well, because he actually phoned her pain doctor to make sure that she had a refill in her hydrocodone, waiting for her afterwards because she had used it all up prior to surgery because she was in a lot of pain. Okay, so this piece of paper is her timeline of anesthesiology. It goes from 1234, 1233, and it shows that she had fentanyl, lidocaine, and they put this stuff called ropivacaine in the nerve block. It was her right shoulder. They put this stuff called ropivacaine in the nerve block, which is the active medication. And so we go through the surgery. Everything seems to be stable, and at 2:15, it looks like Narcan. I think she came to them, gosh, wow, it was like immediately. I think that it was 2:20 or something. It was right around the same time. So basically, she came out of, if you read the paperwork from surgery, she was fine. And then as soon as she gets to this room, she has the already ordered Narcan waiting for her, whether she needed it or not, because they use it to wake you up to get you out of there in 45 minutes. And it works. It works. And they don't study it because it works. But people, let me tell you something. It's blowing your heart up. How many times in your life can you have that happen? Let's see. Where is the next thought process here? Because I pulled a bunch of papers just from that timeline. Oh, yes. Where is it? I have handwritten notes. Let me just go round and round. Here it is. Okay. So that was it. There's nowhere in her EMR. Have you ever heard of an EMR? It's an electronic medical record system that hospitals and doctors and nurses kind of all commit to doing the right thing and getting it in the system. So whenever you are anywhere in the hospital, your chart's up and you can see everything that's gone down about this person, which is very nifty, unless you forget to put something in there. And so that kind of brings me to shoot. 9/3 at 1652, which is like, we're going backwards here. Let me see. Uh-oh. I can't take it. I can't do it. I gotta hang up. Sorry. That was a voice call. All right, where was I? Okay. During this time when my mom was getting out of out of surgery, and she got to them, they gave her this Narcan, which they use to wake up patients. Like they just use it. They got different names for it now. It's not called Narcan. It's just a drug that they narcolepsy is something. Naloxone is its actual name, and there's several derivatives of it. But basically, what it does, it reverses opiates. So when you're in anesthesiology, under anesthesiology, in surgery, it puts you down. It puts you, it's you're basically under their care. They're making sure you're breathing. If they weren't there, you'd be dead. They get you to the other room. They put a little bit of that stuff, just a little bit, doesn't take much, and it causes a sudden rush of adrenaline. We all saw Pulp Fiction. It's just you don't have to go straight into the heart on this. They do it through your vein, your IV. And the next thing you know, you're like, and you're awake, and you're like, and they're like, hey, hey, hey. And so, no matter what shape you're in, really, coming out of surgery, as long as they can get you up and into a car, and your person with you can get you home and into a bed, that's your hospital care. You got to do it from there. That's basically what I'm reading, or I've been forced to read about. So they gave her the Narcan, which for my mother, she has been a pain patient for years because she's an osteoarthritis patient. She suffers. Okay. So what it did to my mom was put her body into complete and total withdrawals, as if she was a heroin addict or something. And so uh, everything malfunctioned. In this timeline, although they shotgunned it throughout about 300, 200 pages of stuff, and I found about 10, 15 crucial pieces of paper that stitch this whole story together. Well, I'm going to get into that on my next video because I do have it. It's unreal that I could get something like this. It's kind of almost condescending. Unfortunately, the PACU staff was not made aware of the time expectation you were told, and thus were unaware of the need to clarify this with you. I think that that's a little much because I was told by the surgeon, go to the room. It's ready. They'll bring her up when she's done. It should be about 45 minutes. Everything went great. So they get there, give her the Narcan. She freaks out. It's in here. What did they do next? They give her this drug called Sugamadex. What is Sugamadex? Sugamadex reverses the nerve block medication. It reverses the ropivacaine. It takes it away. So my mother wakes up in this time period where they're just like, sorry, we didn't tell you about it, and is in extreme pain. She's vomiting. She's short of breath. They're having to bag her. They try to order, they do order, but they discontinue because I have that little piece of snippet. Another dose of ropivacaine. Remember we spoke about that earlier. It was the drug that goes into the nerve block. They tried to order another dose of that, but apparently, if you have Narcan, Sugamadex, in between those things, when she's vomiting, they give her nausea medicine, fentanyl, more Vicodin. Like, who was running that show? How many different opiates are you gonna throw at her when you just gave her something that reverses opiates? She went nuts. Her heart filled up like a bag of the tightest, and it blew, and you know it, and it's written here, and I'm not even on the second half of this page. This page that you sent me. When I read it, I was just like, bless your heart. And I don't even have all the medical records. I could go to each and every single one of these doctors and get copies of everything from the EMS transfer. Boy, they were interesting. The little form, there's so much. I can't wait to tell it. And now that, we're online together. All right. Well, what time is it? 25. I'm going to stop because I'm going to do another one right after this about the second half of this page. Okay. Love it. Yikes.